Let me give you a rush through, because of time constraints, the research. I funded this myself because of my belief in building a future for the African child. And it was just to gauge perceptivities. We have not helped in terms of really also educating our policymakers. They are also confused. 1 minute is supply chain management. The next minute is procurement. The next minute is purchasing. Which is which? They are very confused in terms of terminologies. And I wanted to try and clear that space. Hence, I put that book together, the supply chain management terms, which is being distributed so that we have common language. Because when you look at accounting, there's common language everybody understands. In our profession, there isn't. Am I correct or am I wrong? When you even look at the job adverts that comes out, it's very confusing. Now, how would they take us serious if they don't even understand the terminologies? When I put this together, I got a lot of calls. It's now being distributed all over Africa. The second edition is coming out, which I'm even putting in more terms. And I'm asking the countries, what is unique to your country? Let's put it all in. And it's coming out October, November. South Africa, a lot of the terminologies is now being updated. It will be in there. So that when the CEO picks it up, he wants to understand what PPPFA means. This is it. This is what it means, and this is what it stands for. When somebody in Nigeria picks it up and wants to do a deal, he picks it up, this is what it means. Accounting has it. Medicine has it. We don't have it. Hence the confusion. Now, there's also another confusion in the market. They talk about buying, procurement, strategic sourcing. What is it? What is the link? Hence, I wrote that book. This is what strategic sourcing is all about, at my own cost, and then I got companies to sponsor. Because once we start educating the policymakers, then you will have the power that you need to make decisions for the African child. Development has been held back, partly because of our own fault. We have not really helped the decision makers. They are confused. Now you wonder why most organizations are going for chief supply chain officer and not chief procurement officer. There's a reason, and I will share that with you. In 2009, I made a statement around the content that we have an image problem. As soon as you mention that you are in procurement, the first thing that comes to mind is that you are corrupt. And I said we need to change it. We add value. But because we do not talk about the value that we add, we're always talking about price reduction, and which they've unfortunately associated with strategic sourcing, which is not true. Strategic sourcing is not about price chiseling. And when I read the minister's statements, it worries me. And it's not just here. The entire continent. They talk about strategic sourcing and say, okay, let's go and reduce the prices. And I said, no, it's not. When you listen to Minister Nene, they are not talking about the developmental aspects per se. The focus is, let's try and save costs. We've got to change our mindset for more value add. And that problem has been created by ourselves. Because when you talk to them, we don't talk about the value and the wealth creation aspects. We talk about more the pricing. We can reduce this. When we agglomerate spending, we can save 30%. But what is the cost of that 30% to supply development? We are not doing that. It comes at a cost. But the long term, it levels itself out. Now, procurement, this is where we really messed up, colleagues. In desperation to obviously be accepted, we accepted the title of Chief Procurement Officers. But the question was, where was the chief? Did we really have the power? Because the job descriptions didn't change. When you talk of a Chief Financial Officer, there is power. he sits in the boardroom. How many chief procurement officers sit in the boardroom? I've always maintained that Mr. Brown should be either a DG, and on page 72 of that book I've written, I've put it in there because I believe in it. And I've shared it with people that matter, that unless Mr. Brown becomes a director general or a minister, we'll be going around in circles. I don't share about it because this role is too strategic for him to be a deputy. He needs to be invited to ministerial meetings. He needs to be accompanying the president on missions to Russia for nuclear deals. He needs to be at the core. But if you go and you make the decision, and then you come back and you say, come and implement, it is too late. If you set up a portal and you are not involved in the negotiations, it is too late. The harm has already been done. So there has to be a mindset change. And that is what we collectively have to do. Because if we don't, you will have the best systems in the world. It is not going to work. African countries have tried it, colleagues. It has not worked. I've been there, I've seen it. So the systems is not going to help you. You have to be at the core. Hence, we need to lobby. I want to get signatures about 1 million from the continent to say that enough is enough. We got to find a way of uplifting the procurement professionals, because otherwise you'll be pushing paper. And in most cases right now, you are pushing paper because you are not part of the decision making. And then you are bargaining. What is negotiations, my brothers? It's very simple. We have negotiations in business, in war, in even in our relationships. If you don't want to get locked out of your house by the wife, sometimes you need to negotiate. Not bargain. You bargain, you lose it. We negotiate to be on the same page for a common purpose. For me, it's very simple. You are engaging to build value for each other. Plain and simple. I decided to look at negotiations because of the way we are letting go of our assets. Were we ever on the same page? Since 1994 to now, since 1957, when there was the first independent country, God has blessed this continent with a lot of assets. From Cape to Cairo, you see a lot of raw materials. We are experiencing load shedding. And then I ask myself, why? Load shedding is not unique here. Here you are managing it much, much better, believe you me. It is much, much better. When you go up north, you'll be surprised. God has given us sun, water, you name it, coal, but still, we are not having these opportunities to have real energy to develop our industries. And, for me, it's because we are not on the same page. Sometimes we don't even know the value of what we have, so we don't negotiate. You have an asset, then you go and you start bargaining, begging for somebody to take it and go and list it somewhere. And then 6-10 years down the line, you complain that the person obviously has cheated you. But did you know really what you wanted? That is all part of negotiations, doing the homework.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.